We are live captioning our meetings. Please look at the chat window of your WebEx meeting where you'll find a link if you're listening to us virtually. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. With that announcement, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board of February 27, 2024. And for the record, I will now call a roll of board members who are all here, but we're going to make them announce that they're here to do that. Starting with our student trustee, Lynn Burnett.
Present.
Kelly Butler.
Present.
Donna Davis.
Here.
Tom Narini.
Present.
Jacqueline Smith.
Present.
Marie Sullivan.
Present.
Linda Thor.
Present.
And I'm here as well. So all of us are in attendance. I'd like to move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. And to lead us in the pledge, I'd like to call forward the Estrella Mountain Community College Student Life Group. They are here if they would stand, and we will join them in standing and let them lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. They'll be coming back here in a few minutes, so you will hear from them again. Let me announce the substitutions for this evening. Dr. Paula Livingston, Interim Vice President, is here for Dr. Ray Rivera, President of EMCC, and Ms. Julie Morgenthal, Interim Associate Chief Information Officer, is here for Matt Reeves, Interim Information Officer. So with that, I am going to ask our folks from Estrella Mountain Student Life to come back to the podium, and as well as their representative, will you come to the podium and give us your update? And again, thank you for leading us in the pledge. We appreciate that.
Good evening, President Bitter-Smith, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, CEC, and distinguished guests. My name is Brianna Jones, and I'm a student ambassador with the Office of Student Life and Leadership and the EMCC District Student Senate representative. I have my fellow student ambassador, Abigail Dupree, with me tonight. Abigail also serves as the president of the Student Resource Club. We are happy to be here to give you a campus update on our EMCC campus and to share the resources we offer. Next slide, please. The Office of Student Life and Leadership provides an environment which fosters the social, academic, and professional growth and development of students. Student Life and Leadership is housed in the EMCC Student Union. Next slide, please. Our student services include student food pantry, student clothing boutique, child care assistance program, discount bus passes, campus tours, and leadership development opportunities through co-curricular programs and civic engagement. Next slide, please. The Student Food Pantry provides non-perishable food items as well as food boxes upon request. This academic year, we have had 1,957 student visits. Additionally, Student Life partners with the St. Mary's Food Bank to provide fresh food and produce to the EMCC community once per month by way of a mobile pantry. The mobile pantry has provided us the opportunity to provide food boxes to 2,505 family members so far. Next slide, please. The clothing boutique is also known as a Lions Exchange. Students can visit the boutique 2 times a month and receive up to 4 free items of clothing each visit. This is an excellent resource for students to use if they have a class presentation or a job interview coming up. They can come to the Lions Exchange and receive free professional clothing for these occasions. The Lions Exchange also offers a variety of personal hygiene items which are available for students to take for free. This year, we have seen a significant increase in the usage of the boutique with 140 visits.
Slide, please. And now for the programs and events. Some of our past events include our Fall 2023 and Spring 2024 Welcome Week events, our Fall Fest, Hispanic Heritage Month, Native American Heritage Month, the Holiday Angel Program, Student Appreciation Day, Coffee Talk, Holiday Reception, Market Tuesday, and our Black History Month events. Next slide, please. Student Appreciation Day was created so Student Life could engage students in a manner which allows us to create and strengthen rapport, provide vital information in regards to student success, and increase student morale. Student Appreciation Day is held once per semester. On October 25th, we held Student Appreciation Day in the Student Union with a Halloween theme. We provide students with snacks and refreshments, along with district representatives in attendance providing resources for the trip reduction program and SNAP benefits. There were over 400 students who attended the event. During the program, students were surveyed to measure the impact on the strategic priority of student well-being and belonging. 100% of the survey stated that the program enhanced the students' connection to the college. Next slide, please. Fall Fest was created to give students the opportunity to reduce stress and recharge prior to finals through participating in outdoor games and activities in a relaxing atmosphere. This year, Student Life combined Fall Fest with Market Tuesday. Market Tuesday is facilitated by EMCC faculty members Cecilia Rosales and Natalie Rivera. Funded through a faculty-led learning grant, Market Tuesday brings together student entrepreneurs, community vendors, transfer partners, community partners, recruiters, and EMCC resources. Market Tuesday was held 3 times during the semester and had over 2,000 attendees. It has also been nominated as Innovation of the Year. Next slide, please. Biology faculty Neil Raymond and Jared Reithel approached the arts faculty with the idea of creating a large-scale mural on the concrete black wall of the EMCC community garden. The mural was collaboratively designed and painted by the students in Art 167, taught by Brandy Reed. The class was inspired by the theme Sustainability. It reflects the goal of the community garden. The students were guided by the class discussion around what a sustainable lifestyle meant to them, an introduction to contemporary artists who are approaching the theme of sustainability, and their own research. The result was 6 collaborative designs that included scaled elevation plans using either an architectural ruler or a digital rendering. Once work began on the wall, one class was spent repairing the cracks in the wall and cleaning it. Then the wall was primed and a chalk line was used to superimpose a grid on the wall and transfer the design. All of the students enrolled in Fall 2023 Art 167 participated in all parts of the community garden mural, from design to scrubbing, priming, and painting. Next slide, please. This year, EMCC faculty and staff donated holiday items to 19 families and 50 children during the Holiday Angel program. To conclude the program, Student Life hosted a holiday reception, providing a Santa photo booth, snacks and refreshments, as well as arts and crafts for faculty, staff, students, and the family participants of the Holiday Angel program. Slide, please.
Some of our upcoming programs and events include Women's History Month, our Spring Festival, Coffee Talks, Week of Champions, Mobile Food Pantry, Student Appreciation Day, Gratapalooza, and our Student Success Fair. Our Week of Champions is hosted during the week of finals each semester to provide a welcoming environment for students to prepare and relax during finals week. Monday and Tuesday is a power hour with the Student Life staff providing resource bags around campus to students. Wednesday, the Student Union is turned into a coffee house for coffee and cram, and students are provided with snacks, coffee, tea, and study resources. Thursday is the finish line where the Student Life office provides snacks and refreshments to celebrate the end of finals. Our Gratapalooza is March 4th and 5th and is a pre-graduation celebration ceremony for students consisting of representatives from over 25 university transfers, honors, PTK, Alumni Association, and Student Life. The Student Success Fair is taking place today and tomorrow, February 28th. The fair looks to address the strategic goal of reducing the semester withdrawal rates. We know from multiple research sources that the more students are engaged, the more likely they are to persist and complete. The more they are aware of their support resources for access, retention, and completion, the more likely they'll get to that goal and we won't have those stop gaps that we often see. It keeps the momentum going, and it's intentionally designed to have students follow a guided pathway to completion. For example, they can't just start at the Connect zone and then go to the Learn zone. It's intended for them to follow the path. Those who are helping with the event complete a Canvas training course. That helps to have the staff on the same page and have consistent information to share with students as they go through the fair. Students start off watching a short 2-minute orientation video in the Center for Teaching and Learning where they'll receive a passport and a name tag. They're expected to write down their FOI as well. The FOI may change over time, but we want them to have the end goal in mind as they are going through the fair, and they have to identify that when they apply anyways. As they go through the fair, the people at the resource tables will be able to interact and provide more tailored information based on their program. After completing 2 zones, they will get free food. After completing all 4 zones in the survey, they will get an EMCC branded prize. We take the survey data to continue to improve the experience and follow up with students with any requested information they may have. We also have a Canvas course for those unable to attend in person, but we have both morning and evening sessions to maximize accessibility.
The last slide. Okay. This concludes the student life report for Estrella Mountain Community College. Thank you very much for your time.
Ladies, would you introduce yourself?
My name is Abigail Dupree. I'm a student ambassador at EMCC as well as the president of the Student Resource Club on campus.
My name is Brianna Jones. I'm a student ambassador as well at the Student Union, and I'm a student representative for Estrella Mountain.
That's great. Any questions? Thank you very much for being here. We appreciated your report. And again, thank you for leading the pledge. You're welcome to stay for the meeting, but if you have things to do, like maybe homework, you're certainly welcome to leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Let's move on to our Faculty Executive Council report. Dr. Marzio. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
There we go. There we go.
And then I think I have a slide, Elsa. Thank you. Madam President, members of the board, Chancellor, CEC colleagues, honored students, and guests. Jumbo. As my presentations near their end, I thought we would do one more round of, if you don't know, now you know. For example, did you know that Jon Stewart has returned to The Daily Show through 2024? He's the one in the upper left-hand. Sure about that. If you don't know, now you know. But you're probably more interested in Maricopa than Comedy Central. Did you know that 4 Maricopa Community College nursing programs ranked among the top 2024 best RN programs in Arizona by the National Nursing Advocacy Organization, registerednursing.org? Out of the 33 registered nursing programs in the state, Estrella Mountain ranked 3rd, Scottsdale ranked 4th, Mesa ranked 5th, and Paradise Valley ranked 8th. The first 3 ranked ahead of the Northern Arizona University, which came in at 6th, U of A, which came in at 7th, and Northland Pioneer College that came in at 10th. With regard to Mesa in particular, Diana Breed, nursing program chair, said, "This ranking reflects our distinguished faculty's dedication to excellence and expertise in engaging with students to become the best nurses they can be. It takes a team to achieve our high standards. I am so proud of our faculty and staff as well as our dedicated students. Our graduating nurses are highly sought after in this in-demand profession for their skills and caring professionalism." If you don't know, now you know. Did you know that a Scottsdale Community College alum, Cameron Provo, was recently nominated for a student Emmy? What began as a class project for FMT 270, Documentaries for Social Change, led Provo to the Tempe Center for the Arts, where he was recognized for his outstanding work in the college commercial category of the 2023 Rocky Mountain Emmy Awards. Provo used the skills he developed throughout the course to create a commercial for Documentaries for Social Change that encourages other students to enroll. He found the hands-on, authentic learning experiences to be practical education in the business of filmmaking, and they helped him discover new perspectives on storytelling and narrative. It's especially gratifying to know that work like this led Cameron to a summer internship and full-time work, said Robert Godino, assistant chair of the Scottsdale Film School. Godino emphasizes the importance of connecting students with industry in his courses. During a field trip to Epic Productions, Provo was able to meet with industry professionals and with the help of his Emmy-nominated work, landed an internship, which has blossomed into a full-time job as a multimedia editor. If you don't know, now you know. Did you know that April is Genocide Awareness Month? In conjunction with Arizona State's Genocide Awareness Week events, Scottsdale will host 2 events: a documentary film screening on the Armenian genocide with the Turkish directors in attendance, and a teacher training workshop on teaching genocide. Organized by the anthropology department at Scottsdale, this will be a collaborative effort between the faculty of the Culture and Society, Education, and Visual and Performing fields of interest to engage in cross-field connections. You don't know, now you know. And now some specific fabulous February faculty highlights. Did you know that Dr. Monica Nenad, faculty chair of the dental programs at Rio, began her first full year of a 4-year term on the American Dental Association Commission on Dental Accreditation in October 2023. She is the Commissioner for Dental Hygiene Education and was appointed by the American Dental Hygienists Association. Monica also developed a second dental hygiene cohort with a new educational partner, Midwestern University, and the first cohort of 10 students matriculated in September of 2023. And last, she applied for and was awarded a grant from the Delta Dental Foundation of Arizona. This award will fund an oral health screening and education program at the Mexican consulate in Phoenix, developed and run by dental hygiene honor students. If you don't know, now you know. Dr. Jennifer Gresko, faculty chair for educator preparation programs at Rio, was asked to serve on Governor Katie Hobbs' Education Retention Task Force. The group will create recommendations to address the statewide teacher shortage. The task force's 11-point recommendation report focused on the need to increase not just pay and benefits for Arizona teachers, but build more support systems for them as well. Additionally, under Dr. Gresko's leadership, the American Association of School Personnel Administrators recently recognized Rio Salato's new education bachelor's degree as a promising practice to bring more teachers into the field. If you don't know, now you know. And now you know more than you knew about what you didn't know. And I'll close with a haiku. In halls of knowledge, wisdom blooms in vibrant minds, fabulous faculty.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the reminders of things that we obviously didn't know until tonight. Appreciate that. Now I'd like to have the Adjunct Faculty Association report. Ms. Kim Bosch.
Good evening, Madam President and governing board members and Chancellor and all of the members that are here joining us tonight. It has been a busy month since our last meeting. I have gotten very little sleep up until this past weekend. I had a 2-person show for my art with another friend at a gallery, and we was frantically framing work and finishing work. That was my sideline thing. My main work, however, my consuming thoughts day in and day out, were of the adjunct faculty compensation. We were tasked last year with, or rather, we were given the opportunity now to negotiate and to be a part of recommendations for our compensation. And when I started this, it was daunting and absolutely not terrifying, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And so the last several months have been spent in town halls, listening sessions, one-on-one meetings, surveys, and all kinds of information gathering so that we could present our ideas and have a better idea of what we were presenting about. Last Thursday was the culmination of that, where I presented to the CAC and put forth several ideas for compensation for all of our adjunct faculty, but also for our surgeons, for our service adjunct faculty who are concerned about the sunsetting of their pay. And as we learned more about things, we realized that we had several different ways to go with things. As we had our listening sessions, we learned more about the service adjunct's point of view. We also had people finally starting to reach out to us with their ideas and their suggestions of what we could do to solve the problem or to put forth new ideas. And that gave us some extra information that we could bring to CAC that will ultimately go to the governing board. When I presented, I think the CAC realized, as I did, that it's a very complex issue. We did not even vote last Thursday because everybody else needed time to absorb and take in the ideas that we had. And so we will be having a vote before our next CAC meeting to discuss what our final option will be for things. But I feel like we're in a much better place for that now than we had been before. On a great note, our Outstanding Adjunct Awards has kicked off. I just came from an Outstanding Adjunct Awards meeting right before this one, and we're scheduled for April 25th for our banquet. And right now the nominations are going on. Anybody can nominate an outstanding adjunct, a student, faculty, administrators, anybody that you think might be a fabulous representative of your college. You can put their name out there. So far, last count, we had about 58 nominations so far, and it's only been open a week. And so we're looking forward to a really robust, outstanding adjunct season and honoring those that finally get the ultimate vote for things. Beyond that, my reps have been busy on committee work and doing their own projects on campuses. I'm hoping next month to bring some other ideas that they have put forth. We've been sharing lots of different ideas in our monthly meetings, and we really seem to have a great crew representing us this year. So I thank you for my time to share with you tonight, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you very much. Any questions? None. Thank you so much. We do not have a verbal report from the staff representation group for this night's meeting, but there is a written report that will be distributed. What we do have, though, is we have one emeritus winner this evening, and I've asked Dr. Greg Peterson, the president of CGCC, to come forward. We are going to be honoring Dr. Pushpa Ramakrishna. I believe she is here virtually. And so I'm going to ask Dr. Peterson to read a little bit of her nomination and the reason we're honoring her, and then allow her a few minutes to respond. So with that, Dr. Peterson.
Thank you. President Bittersmith, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, CEC, and guests. It is such an honor tonight to be able to recognize Dr. Ramakrishna as a founding faculty for Chandler Gilbert. She's had a significant impact on our college, on our culture, and I've so valued her wisdom during my time at the college. But I can't say it as well as others, and so I've invited our Dean of Arts and Sciences, Chris Schnick, to share more. And then I believe that Pushpa will be the voice of God and share some thoughts as well.
Thank you.
I feel so fortunate to be able to be here to talk some about Dr. Pushpa Ramakrishna. I have been a dean at Chandler Gilbert for 8 years, but for 17 years, I was a faculty member, worked very closely alongside her. She's worked at Maricopa since 1988. She's a founding faculty member at Chandler Gilbert Community College, which means she and a couple other people did everything. She built science buildings, labs that go into science buildings, the curriculum. She contributed to the development of Chandler Gilbert's stellar active learning and service learning programs in the 1990s. She pioneered the use of technology in the classroom, convinced our president at the time that laptops would be okay and safe with students. They wouldn't walk away. That was a real accomplishment that I remember. Had the first mobile cart of technology in a classroom and quickly showed a bunch of faculty how to use it. She maintained that drive that she brought as a founding faculty member, her drive, engagement, and commitment to teaching, professional development, and especially the student experience in the science lab for over 30 years at the college. Her firm belief in the power of interdisciplinary work contributed to our global learning and co-curricular activities at Chandler Gilbert, and her impact, her work in those areas is felt at the college till this day. As many of you, or some of you know, Dr. Ramakrishna led in the area of sustainability at Chandler Gilbert, at Maricopa, and on a national level. Along with coordinating our Sustainability Day, where tens of faculty and hundreds of students will get together and demonstrate the understanding of the triple bottom line, the social, environmental, and economic well-being of our world. She was involved in supporting STEAM and sustainability as a district director, working with faculty to help them incorporate sustainability into their classroom, bringing national speakers to the colleges, to the district, and was the founding chair of our sustainability IC. As a former MCLI fellow, she engaged in, led, published, presented many times in this room, countless times on other teaching and learning initiatives such as undergraduate research, scholarship of teaching and learning, use of technology in the classroom. As much as I and her colleagues at the college have been permanently positively impacted by PUSHPA, which has influenced our continued work to fulfill Maricopa's mission, when I think of her legacy, I think of the students. For scores of Dr. Ramakrishna's students are now physicians, pharmacists, researchers, educators. Thank you, PUSHPA.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramakrishna. I can't see you, but as we just heard, there she is. Oh, wonderful. Congratulations. I'd like to offer you a few minutes to respond. And again, what a terrific honor.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Very special thank you to my president, Dr. Greg Peterson, and my very good friend and colleague, Krishnik, biology faculty chair, Jackie Kahler, and Reggie Monroe, my previous biology chair. And thank you to the governing board members, our administrators and fellow faculty for giving me this honor. I'm really profoundly honored and deeply humbled to receive this title of Emeritus Professor from my very beloved institution, Chandler Gilbert. As I reflect on my journey, being one of the founding faculty members, it was like all hands on deck all the time. We had a profound moral responsibility to build not just any college, but a college that is caring and nurturing and inclusive for all students, a place where knowledge thrives and our students come and we provide opportunities for them to achieve their diverse goals. And so through dedication, passion, and a relentless pursuit of excellence, Chandler Gilbert has continuously strived to transform lives and shape futures. And I'm just very thankful to be a part of this big journey. My heart swells with pride as I think of the biology department. From being a sole faculty member to now a big thriving department across 2 campuses, where we look at students not just learning biology, but also to be critical thinkers and prepare for lifelong learning in the future. When technology is changing, future of work is changing, we are preparing our students for the future. At the core of the philosophy of our teaching and learning as a faculty member, it's always been around evidence-based practices with innovative teaching and learning practices, always thinking about what can we do better for our students, how can we do it better, and so on. And so by embracing these innovative practices and revitalizing education, we have played a small part in changing our students' lives. And I know that Chandler Gilbert and Maricopa will continue to do so. And it's just been a great privilege to be a part of this journey. I also want to personally thank Eric Leshinsky and Bettina Sellers recently for giving me the opportunity to lead the STEAM and Sustainability Initiative. Again, thanks to Chris for his kind words, but this is something which I'm very passionate about, and they gave me an opportunity to build the program to integrate faculty development across the 10 campuses, build synergy and excitement amongst our faculty to impact student learning and always think of student success. So through webinars and workshops and communities of practice and collaboration between the different campuses on the grants that we have gotten, we have built a community that is like really changing the way teaching and learning is done at our campuses. Again, as I transition to this position of emeritus professor, I'm just profoundly grateful to everybody who has played a part in my own growth, because I have grown up and spent all my adult life at Chandler Gilbert. As an emeritus professor, and as interests, needs, and passions align, I would like to contribute as much as I can to Chandler Gilbert and to Maricopa as a program officer at the Howard Hughes Medical Institute at the Center of Science Leadership and Culture, which is where I am right now. So I hope I'll continue to be a part of my beloved college, my beloved Maricopa district, and just be a part of everybody's lives in the future. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wonderful. Congratulations again, and thank you for Chandler Gilbert's team in presenting the award tonight. Okay. We are now pointing the agenda to get a report from our chancellor, Dr. Gonzalez, if you're ready.
Yes, I am. Thank you, President Bittersmith, members of the board, CEC, and guests that are with us this evening. I'm going to start off again, changing well, I'm not changing the format. I have changed the format. So let me start off by sharing some college-specific data related to Estrella Mountain College. I had an opportunity to hear from the students earlier. So even as the youngest of the 10 Maricopa colleges, Estrella has established itself as a key contributor to the success and impact of the Maricopa system. Over the last decade, Estrella has seen tremendous growth in its reach as a college, achieving a 2.5 percentage point increase in its share of district-wide student enrollment activity, second only to Chandler Gilbert Community College at 3.5%. True to its mission and commitment to inclusivity, Estrella serves one of the most diverse student populations within the Maricopa system. Recognized as an HSI, Hispanic Serving Institution, and a top Excellencia institution in Arizona, Estrella demonstrates a commitment to underserved student populations. Over 70% of the college's fall 2023 student body were learners of color, and nearly 60% were the first in their family to attend an institution of higher education. Similar to national community college trends, much of Estrella's growth since the COVID pandemic has been seen within the college's dual enrollment student population. Unsurprisingly, the college's commitment to learner diversity was also evident in this trend, with students of color representing over 80% of Estrella dual enrollment student growth since 2020-21. A point of pride, or perhaps something new about Estrella, is that Estrella is ranked 4th among the top 5 institutions awarding to Hispanics in Arizona for 2021 academic year, according to Excellencia in Education. Estrella's nursing program was ranked 3rd in the state, according to registerednursing.org. Additionally, Estrella nursing students had the second highest NCLEX passing rates in the state for 2023. Estrella's development office collaborated with the Southwest Valley Chamber to host the inaugural Soaring Palette event on February 2nd, 2024, where over 26 food vendors were represented and over 900 tickets were sold, with half of the proceeds supporting student scholarships. So congratulations to Estrella and all the wonderful things that you guys have been accomplishing. Keep up the good work, and we appreciate what you're doing in the West Valley and across the county. For Chancellor's Goal update, I will be reporting on Chancellor's Goal number 3, workforce development, which is drive innovation through strategic partnerships by leveraging the Office of the Chancellor to meet the emergent needs of our diverse students, employers, and community. And specifically, 3A, which is industry-specific and nonprofit summit convened and associated action plans developed by June 30th, 2024. So 2 industry summits have been held thus far, and the nonprofit summit in alignment with the basic needs survey work will occur in the spring, a date to be yet determined. Artificial Intelligence Teaching and Learning Summit hosted in October 2023 by Chandler Gilbert Community College, Estrella, and MCOR, which gathered more than 100 individuals from across 32 states and Canada. The summit will become an annual convening forum in a consortium agreement with Miami-Dade College and Houston Community College to alternate hosting responsibilities. A National Science Foundation grant application has been submitted to fund a Center of Excellence AI consortium with Miami-Dade College and Houston Community College. So we're keeping our fingers crossed there and hoping that we see some success on that, out of that. Arizona Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity and Arizona Commerce Authority Workforce Summit was hosted in on January 11th by Gateway to connect leaders across industries and sectors for collective action. We had more than 160 leaders attend the summit from community colleges, employers, workforce development, and advocacy partners. From the summit, we recognize the disconnect between employees and our colleges in developing effective partnerships. So Gateway is working to develop a workshop that outlines employer engagement opportunities and describe the steps for employers to better understand how to connect and partner with us. For enrollment update, spring 2024 compared to spring 2023 on week 5. Headcount is currently 86,777 students, which is up 3.8% from last spring. Approximate FTSE is currently 37,182, which is up 4.7% from spring 2023. So we continued our consecutive, I think this is our 5th consecutive semester of positive enrollment growth, and those numbers just keep getting higher. For a legislative update, with the legislative sessions crossover week behind us, the government relations team is tracking bills now moving through the opposite chamber of the state legislature. The team is continuing to promote our governing board approved legislative agenda and has included advocating for the 3rd year behavioral health funding with key legislators, some of whom attended our successful community college day at the Capitol and the reception afterwards held at the Phoenix Forge. Recently, Maricopa testified in support of Senator Diaz's Senate Bill 1489 to establish a statewide community college promise scholarship program. The bill passed out of the Senate Education Committee with a bipartisan vote of 4-2. We are excited for the conversations this bill has sparked and are assisting in keeping the momentum going to get this bill into law. We're keeping our eyes on that one. Finally, the team has undertaken a new effort to enhance coordination with all of our colleges when elected officials and government liaisons visit campuses to collaborate external affairs efforts and, of course, to keep our governing board actively engaged with these visits as well. And then last, on some significant new partnerships, Maricopa is a partner in the National Science Foundation Regional Innovation Engine, known as the Southwest Sustainability Innovation Engine, which was just awarded $160 million over 10 years. So we're really excited about that opportunity. ASU is the lead institution, and other academic partners include Maricopa Community Colleges, Nevada, specifically University of Las Vegas at Nevada, and Utah, University of Utah, with the goal to build an ecosystem of researchers, innovators, educators, and decision makers to harness STEM innovation and grow a workforce pipeline for the net zero economy. The Maricopa Community Colleges is the sole community college on the SWSIE leadership team and will receive $220,000 in the first 2 years for faculty to expand sustainability programs inclusive of faculty professional development across the 3 states to co-create programs and experiential-based learning. The Global Consortium workforce development priorities include workforce upskilling and training, targeted entrepreneurial training, new community college curriculum, expanded municipal managerial training, and regional K-12 science officers. And Maricopa, specifically Julie Stiak, is the consortium lead for workforce development, and Bettina Sellis, our Associate Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs, is on the organization's board. President Bittersmith, that concludes my update. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Very informative. Are there questions? Chancellor. Not? Thank you very much. It is now time on our agenda for the citizens' interim comments, and I will remind those in the public that this is an opportunity for you to address the governing board, and in compliance with the open meeting law, the governing board will neither discuss nor take action on issues raised during this portion of the agenda. When necessary, issues will be taken under advisement and placed on a subsequent agenda. Presenting concerns to the board and the free expression of ideas should be communicated with decorum and respect. So uncivil or disorderly conduct is not permitted. I do have one speaker, Imelda Hartley. Ms. Hartley, if you would approach the podium, and you have 3 minutes, please.
Good evening, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, member of the CEC, and guests. My name is Imelda Hartley, and I'm proudly a student at Maricopa Community College. I recently served as a Maricopa Student Senate representing my campus, Phoenix College, a position that I truly enjoy, which allow me to give back to our community fruitfully. Some of you might know, either through my work or through personal interaction, that I best known by being a mother of 14 children, which I have raised proudly on my own for the last 15 years. My story, like all here today, has been accompanied by trials, one of which began being a victim of extreme and severe domestic violence. The physical and emotional abuse has left me with a lot of trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder that mangle their way into my life every day. However, amidst the deep challenges and grief, I continue to move forward with my life and redevelop the strength that lifted me through it. This is why I have decided to come forward here today. After many offers to address this issue through the proper channels and left with no other course, I'm here to communicate to you that I have been dealing with a student advisor who has discriminated and tormented me with a series of unwarranted and hominem attacks in an effort to undermine my credibility and remove me from my position. Board members, I have been dealing with the situation privately, and to the extent that I knew how, being no other resolution and the increasingly growing sense of isolation, I had to resign my position. However, due to the nature of the recent retaliatory experience, I decided to come, defend myself, and report the situation to the board and FTAM members. The student advisor disagreed with my board leadership, and the simple disagreement led to him informing that based on a condition of satisfactory enrollment, I would have to be removed due to not being a student this semester. I would like to inform the board that I am enrolled. By law, it states that as long as I'm enrolled in 6 credits per semester, I can serve. I failed to understand why this academic advisor has been so adamant about removing me from my leadership position. I have never had a problem with anyone and conduct and hold myself to the highest of professional and academic standards. I had done nothing to deserve to be treated in such an unprofessional and demeaning manner. Please note for the record that there are current other Maricopa student senators who are not acting according to the bylaws, and yet has not been any issue with them. I understand that I have a strong accent, that I believe this advisor has mistaken that for a lack of intelligence. I am a person with much experience in my professional life, and for that, and specifically this academic advisor to discriminate me against through demonstrable contracts to other students who, from an empirical analysis, had no difference other than my racial characteristics. It's very unbecoming in manner and a slap in my face, serving as an insult not only to my intelligence, but to the institution and the position that I was selected to serve.
Ms. Hartley, I apologize. I'm going to have to ask you to wrap up because those are our rules, but we will have someone follow up with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let us move on now to our next item is the consent agenda. And I'm going to turn to our board secretary for a motion on the consent agenda. Let me first ask, are there any board members who have something from the consent agenda they would like to remove for further discussion? Other than potentially the maker of this motion. So, Dr. Narini?
I remove it now or do
I think you want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda items minus the one that you want further discussion on.
I'd like to move to approve the consent agenda minus, usually we have a problem, it says item 10 here, but it says item 11 here.
So the current agenda is posted as item 11, and let's read the name of that so there's no
So
confusion.
item 11, the approval of proposed course fees changes for spring semester fiscal year 24-25 budget. So I move that we accept the consent agenda approval of the item 11.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Thor. Let us vote on the motion at hand. If there's no discussion, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 6-0, and the student advisory vote, consent agenda minus item number 11 is approved. Now, let me move to Dr. Narini. Let's get questions and concerns about item 11 that is, and perhaps we can then take action on that in some form.
Motion to accept item 11. So I move that we accept item 11 with the removal of the CHS classes from Gateway. That'd be CHS 104, 106, 114, 116, 119, 12, 214, 218. Also with MFC 131 BC. Also with the removal of PQ 477, SPE 477 from Glendale, Paradise Valley, and Reed.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
With that, Dr. Gonzalez, is there, I think there's discussion forthcoming on this, but do you want to have anyone respond to, provide any insight or answer any questions before we take a vote on this motion?
Yes, President Bittersmith and Dr. Narini, I would invite either Dr. Lisa Armour or Ms. Bettina Salas to come up and talk about any questions that you may have related to the courses that you brought up. I couldn't hear all of them. I don't know if it's the distance from your microphone, but we might ask you to repeat some of those on that list, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I chatted with Dr. Diaz before about the gateway courses, and it's just going to be a matter of rewriting some of the fees. So those are going to just come back to us a little bit later. So it's all the CHS classes that's on the fee request, plus the MFC 131 BC, which is also going to be reworked as response to the questions that I asked earlier in the week.
Dr. Sells?
Sure. Is there, President Bittersmith, Dr. Narini, is there something specific in regard to any of those courses that I can answer beyond what the colleges had provided? I know you had an additional question regarding the teacher education coursework. Would you like me to provide that feedback?
Sure.
So the question that Dr. Narini had posed was regarding the additional $250 fee associated with student teaching as part of this coursework. And so in response, there's two separate people that are supporting the student through that experience. One of them is the instruction and program supervisor, for which this course and tuition is associated with. The instructor serves the program supervisor, who works with the student through the course competencies, as well as evaluating the student in the K-12 classroom. This is a required position for ADE requirements. The second position is the mentor and supervising practitioner, which is an in-class school support, for which the $250 is being charged. The mentoring and supervising practitioner is the school district, the K-12 employer, whose students are placed with for the student teaching experience. The practitioner collaborates with the instructor and supervising practitioner with evaluations and progress monitoring of the student in the classroom. This is also a required role by ADE. So I know your initial question was, is that included in the $873 that they're paying? And it is not. It's an additional cost that is paid directly to the supervisor within the K-12 school district.
The other question is, are there any other programs where we charge students to pay for a stipend for the practicum supervisor?
I don't have that answer in front of me, but I'm happy to take that back and follow up with the vice presidents.
I'm also curious about when in the request, we say that University of Arizona charges $500 for their student teachers. NAU charges $400 for their student teachers, an additional fee. And Grand Canyon charges $500, and University of Phoenix charges $500. And so I'm just curious where that information came from.
So that came from the program, the education faculty members who are part of this program. We reached out directly to our peers at those institutions to identify what that cost was.
Because I'm just curious, because when I looked that up, I looked it up at U of A, and I found their course was their student teaching course, TLS 493E, and that fee for that class is $80. And so when I called up just to verify that, I called up U of A and talked to Sarah, who said she confirmed that it was $80, and she wasn't sure what the $500 was all about. So I also checked with NAU. I looked at their website and I couldn't find anything. GCU, when I called them, Judy explained to me that all the classes have a resource fee that pay for books and such, but their ELM 490, their student teaching course, has no course fee, but there is a learning management fee that goes to all degree programs at the end for all degree programs, not just for teaching. University of Phoenix, Candace told me that they have an 8-credit program, 2 courses, but there's no student fee required, no additional course fee for them. So then I thought I'd go back and see what other states are doing. So I called a couple of schools that I went to, that I worked at in Washington, and Eastern Washington and Western Washington doesn't charge additional teaching fees. So I reached out to University of Northern Colorado, and they don't charge a course fee for a student teacher. And as a matter of fact, they pay up to $400 to help a student if they choose to teach out of state. New Mexico goes one better. $12,000. So that is 9,600. 42% of those teachers not meet. 7% of those positions. And then last year, the Arizona School of Personnel Administration closed that in 24 school year. That means 53.2% of our positions are vacant or filled by replacement. Didn't meet the standard requirement. Almost 30%. We have the largest teacher shortages in the country. The highest in the country. Oh, there you go. That would help. Should I go through that all again?
Start over, please.
So what I was saying is that in New Mexico, they actually pay teachers to do student teaching, right? And so Arizona has one of the largest teacher shortages in the country. And so a first-year elementary school teacher is making about $42,000 a year. But in order to do that, they have to pay $60 to get their certification. They have to pay another $67 to get their fingerprints clearance. They have to pay $85 to sit for the elementary education subtest, and another $85 for the subtest number 2. Then they have to pay another $5 to us for every official transcript we send out. So that's over $300. And now we're asking them to give up their day job to go work for free, not just to work for free, but to pay for that privilege, that $250 privilege to work for free. So no, I completely agree with the National Council on Education Research out of North Carolina about the importance of student teaching and having a powerful mentor. But above all, what I'm curious about is the students are already paying $873 in tuition for this class. And now we're asking them to pay an additional $250 because they have to work full time during this thing. And if that $850 or $873 is for tuition, and tuition is to teach the student, and the student teacher, the mentor, is the one teaching the student, shouldn't that tuition go to that student teacher or that student teacher's mentor? So that's all I had questions about. Those are the questions and points I wanted to make about that fee.
I'll take that back to the faculty.
Thank you, Dr. Naredi. So understanding that, we'll have that back for the next board meeting or answers before then for the rest of the entire board. Yes. Is that correct?
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Did we vote on that now?
So I think you have questions. We pulled it off the consent agenda item. I think we can just put it back on our next board meeting. I don't believe we need action on it. There's something to take action on until we get your answers. Dr. Gonzalez, do you see any challenge with that from a timing perspective?
There could potentially be some challenges to that. So we may be able to extract specific courses, perhaps the ones that you listed, but to stop the approval of all fees that are on this could be problematic.
So no, we had a motion. to approve all those except those that Dr. Narini had questions about. So everything else was approved. Question is, he has a number of issues that still need answers.
Mhm.
And we want someone to make a motion to approve it, that's fine, but I think Dr. Narini was hoping to have answers relatively quickly.
So I would defer back to the team that oversees our student fees process, and is this something that would impact in any way our ability to continue to move forward with the posting of these
I
courses?
guess I should add, Dr. Narini, you asked these questions in advance, as I understand. So he did not get all of his questions answered prior to the meeting.
So I believe this last question was responded to and then came through on Friday afternoon, additional question, which I know the faculty members involved were working yesterday and up to right before this meeting to provide a response. So with regard to the education coursework, we need to ensure that if these fees are going to move forward, we do so as quickly as possible so we can conduct the follow-up and bring it back in next month's board meeting along with the courses from Gateway that will be resubmitted. But it is a requirement as part of the bachelor's degree in education. So we'll want to make sure that those issues are resolved.
Yeah, and I want to be sure, I'm not suggesting that we don't do student teaching because I know it is a requirement. My question is, do we need to charge the students $250 to do that? Can we still support the supervisory teacher with a stipend, but does it have to come out of an additional fee for the student? Why can it not come out of the regular tuition that the student's already paying for that?
And I would need to follow up with the faculty directors for the programs because the response was provided directly from them. It is my understanding based on their response charged, but I can follow up directly and get a response from them.
Okay, yeah, so if we could just get the response for like, where is that $873 going if it's not going to the student teacher's supervisor?
It is going to the instructor and the program supervisor, and then the $250 is going to the staff member at the K-12 school district.
Okay.
Thank you.
So understanding that, I think everything has been approved other than those particular course items, and we will have answers back to the full board prior to next board meeting so we can take action on those at that point.
Correct.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Narini.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay. Let us move on to item number which is the non-consent action items. We have none of those this evening. So we are now on the first reading information items, and we have one of those, which is the
President Bittersmith, we need to vote.
Yeah,
We need
Oh,
to
did
vote
I
on
miss? I
approving the
apologize.
courses that are not.
I
that were not
apologize.
in-
There is a motion on the floor, and it was a second. Yes, Dr. Thor seconded. My apologies. All those in favor of Dr. Narini's motion, which was to approve all of those minus those items, approve items on item number 11 of the consent agenda, minus those courses he's delineated, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? My apologies for missing that. Motion passes 6-0. Okay, let's plus the student advisory vote. Let's move on then. Non-consent agenda items, we have none. On the first reading information items, we have employment and separations report. Board members, are any questions on that item? If not, monitoring reports, we also have one item there, the budget analysis report for Fund 1 and the general unrestricted fund. Any questions on that report? Seeing none, let's move on to our community linkage reports. And this is an opportunity for board members to talk about the activities in the last month relative to our board service. Let me start with Mr. Burnett. Anything to report?
Just briefly, the legislative reception downtown Phoenix, that was a great night had by all. I enjoyed that. I got a chance to meet a lot of people I hadn't met before. On the 31st, I attended a club fair at CGCC. They had it both the 30th and the 31st. And it's kind of their kickoff for the spring with the club fair. It was very successful. A lot of students, a lot more than the last. I went to the one last year and it was probably another 20 or 25% larger than the one last year. So it was good. On the 7th, we did a student-led veteran seminar from veterans all over the district. I don't want to say every school is represented, and I didn't get a chance to meet every single veteran, but I did talk to about 15 or 20 just to discuss some of the things that were going on in with the veterans programs at the different schools. On the 12th, I sat down and did a kind of a kind of a 2-year back brief on the aviation program. I believe, and I could be mistaken, but I think that we only have the one aviation program in the district, and I wanted to encapsulate everything I participated in for the last couple of years to be able to give a full report on that. And I'm still getting my notes together on it, but very productive meeting with UND's head Rick Ginder and also Mo Hernandez, who kind of chairs the aviation program for CGCC. On the 17th, I attended the Isla Washington Celebration of Life for Isla from Gateway Community College. And on the 27th, obviously the governing board retreat today. And then on the 29th, we're going to wrap up the month with the Paradise Valley Community College Women of Rock. It's going to be a great night. So that's my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Burnett. Ms. Butler? Thank you very much. I had a great time attending the legislative reception at the beautiful Phoenix Forge facility. It was very well attended, and I appreciated all the organization that went into it. It was a great event. Thanks. Thank you. Ms. Smith?
I appreciated the opportunity to speak at the Rosenthal Women's Mentor Group on January 26th. And I've been doing some research related to alternative revenue streams and speaking with potential partners that might help us with our thinking in that area. Thank you.
Dr. Thor?
I have 2 events that I want to comment on. Tomorrow, along with Dr. Narini, I'll attend the All Arizona Academic Team luncheon, an event that I look forward to every year. This event honors some of the outstanding community college students based both on academics and community service from all Arizona community colleges. And the students receive a tuition waiver to one of the 3 Arizona public universities up to 60 credits. And students also go on to compete at the national level for the All USA Academic Team. And we've been included in that national team on many occasions over the years. I think the last time was Rio Salado. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for that. The other event that's is also happening this week from Wednesday through Friday. So back in 1991, I was one of a small group of community college presidents nationally that founded Sequent, the Continuous Quality Improvement Network. And the uniqueness of the organization is that every year we brought in learning partners, and they were largely from the private sector. And we would hold a summer institute at the partner site where we learned best practices that we could then bring back to our colleges. And so some of the early partners were Southwest Airlines, the Ritz-Carlton, Toyota, Disney, 3M, I could go on. Today, the organization is called AFIT, Alliance for Innovation and Transformation. And the member CEOs and their representatives are meeting here this week, hosted by Rio Salado. I am sadly the sole remaining founding member of Sequent. And so I have been invited as a guest to attend this week's activities as well as the Summer Institute that will also be held here in Phoenix. And I have been asked to offer some reflections on Friday morning, and I look forward to doing that. That completes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Thor. Ms. Davis.
I also attended the legislative reception, but earlier that day, Dr. Narini and I were at the Ledge Day at the Capitol, and I have to tell you guys, I loved it. And I brought my picture of Dash from Gateway because I met the dog, and then I met Dusty the horse for Scottsdale, and I got reacquainted with the snakes and all the reptiles from Estrella Mountain, and but it was just so much fun to see all the community colleges in one place and to see all the wonderful things that they're doing. And I said to Dr. Lashinsky, I wish we could do that in very public places where there were lots of people. So you guys should do that at Luke Days. That's when you should do that. But it was, I just absolutely loved it. And thank you all for doing such a great job with your tables and educating the legislature and the public about the good stuff that you have going on here. And then along with President Bittersmith and Dr. Narini, I also attended the Save the Family Gala where Dr. Gonzalez was recognized as the education partner. And I'm going to let somebody else talk about that. And that's my report.
Thank you. Dr. Narini.
This time I'll turn it on. In addition to the Community College Day at the Capitol, the legislative reception, and the Save the Family Gala, I also attended on the 27th, the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year announcement, where they announced the Youth of the Year. And then on Saturday, we'll have a gala to celebrate that student, Yarilas, from the Ed Robinson branch, or Robson branch. And then all the other nominees for that. On the 31st, I went to South Mountain Community College's Club Fair. It was a great event. Lots of people showed up, lots of students. And then on February 2nd through the 7th, Mrs. Bittersmith and I and Ms. Sullivan were at the ACCT conference. And I was there early for the Diversity Committee meeting. And then on the 17th at South Mountain, South Mountain in conjunction with Phoenix Indian College held their annual Two-Spirit powwow. So that's my shirt of the week. So just wanted to promote that. On the 22nd, I was at Gateway for the National Institute for Innovation and Technology, Arizona Semiconductor Surge. So that was an excellent event, broadcast across the country. And then let's see, on the 22nd, I was at Phoenix College for the Field of Interest Expo. They had an excellent turnout, about over 200 students or so were there. And then one of the things that Dr. Gonzalez didn't mention about Estrella Mountain was their Noches de Mariachis on the 27th, which was an excellent event. And that's a t-shirt I couldn't wear because I was wearing this one. So even though I forget to push the button, thanks for the new mics. These are great. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Murray. We always count on your wardrobe for each meeting to keep us up to date. I will just add to my reports, like many mentioned, the legislative reception that was well planned and well attended. I want to thank our public policy team for their work on that function, as well as their setting out the participation during Community Colleges Day at the Capitol. We had a number of legislators, all of whom had good conversations and opportunity to visit with them. So that was extremely useful. And Dr. Gonzalez and I learned how to make business card holders. And I think you advanced even beyond that, as I recall, that and mine has not fallen apart yet, which is a testament to patience, I think. In addition, as Dr. Narini mentioned, Ms. Sullivan and Dr. and I were at the ACCT meeting in Washington, primarily for our service on those committees. I'm part of the Public Policy Committee, which was the prelude to what was then happening with Hill visits as well. I did join other board members at the Save the Family Gala, which honored Dr. Gonzalez, and that was a good opportunity to recognize both Dr. Gonzalez, but also the Community College District and our work in partnership with the foundation. And then finally, I was pleased to join the foundation at the Chico Gala last weekend. It was a really opportunity to talk to people that were asking questions about the district and future opportunities with the district. So I appreciated being included because it was a great networking opportunity to do work on behalf of Maricopa. So that concludes my report. I will just now move on to mention that we do have upcoming meetings. On March the 5th, we'll have an agenda review meeting. Our board meeting will be on the 19th due to spring break schedules. And it will be a work session regarding the budget, and then we'll have a regular board meeting here at the conference center. And between now and then, some of you will be on spring break. I don't think the board will be on spring break, but many of you will. So hopefully you are rested and relaxed. And that concludes our agenda for this evening. So meeting is adjourned.